welcome to Smokey Reacts. I'm your boy journalist, and on this one, what is this? Who the F did I marry? I guess this is like a series going on TikTok. This is like 4 hours long, so we're gonna break this up into a bunch of chunks. So I'm gonna probably watch like 5-10 minutes of it right now, just to see if it's as messy as I want it to be for me to continue to watch it. But if it is, y'all know me. I'm gonna finish me some good mess. So thank you guys very much for joining me. If you could please hit that like, subscribe, Patreon's in the description. And let's find out who the F did I marry. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this, if this pops up on your timeline in that. Let's see, who the F did I marry?
Hi, and welcome. We all know why you're here. You're here for part of the new series that I am calling Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
Fucking right,
I'm
girl.
going to create this playlist series.
You make that serious.
And I'm going to tell the story of how I met, dated, married.
Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry, I gotta call somebody real quick. All right.
And divorced. A real pathological liar.
Okay. It's about
This
to
is
get
my
messy.
introduction /
Jesus Christ.
disclaimer video. First and foremost, I'm going to be truthful, even if it makes me look bad.
There we go.
I'm going to be honest,
Messy.
but I'm also not going to be disrespectful to anyone that was involved. I'm not going to use people's real names because I don't have their permission to do so, and
She should have used the real names. I want the full mess. If we're gonna be an adult and be nice, and we're even gonna paint ourselves in a bad light, when it's time to paint ourselves in a bad light, so we could be as fair, true, and as honest to the story as we can be, I want real names. Now, if she live in a state where that's not allowed, that's fair. But if she lives somewhere where you can tell the whole story with names, please tell us who these people are. We need to know.
sister does not want any sort of litigation. I will tell you off the top, I have a sense of humor and I have sarcasm. So things that you see me laughing at, none of this is funny. But in order to get through it, I have to laugh.
Oh, that shit is funny.
I cry. I'm human. I'm a
Respect.
woman. This was traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the best I can to upload as much of the story as I can. Because I know people get so annoyed with the follow for part 4, follow me for part 17. I'm just going to do the best I can to keep uploading the videos.
Yo, she did 5 hours, cuz.
Each at a
Her
time.
shit longer than
I'm
Oppenheimer.
going to go in order from the time we met until the time I got our divorce decree in the mail.
There we go.
So that is a lot of time to cover. Please give me the grace to just get it out. It may not be all in one day. It may not be all in 2 days. But what I can tell you is even if you don't necessarily see a video, I'm probably recording it and then I will upload it into the playlist titled, Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
There we go.
What else do I need to cover ahead of time? Because I feel like this video is important to give some sort of context. So that way when people jump into the series, they kind of can figure out, oh, let me start at the introduction video and then work my way through. A lot of the questions that you all have sent me will be answered when I start and tell the story in order. Everything I'm going to tell you can be verified. There are people in my life who can easily verify, yes, this did happen. Yes, he really did do that. Yes, he said that. Yes, she did go through that. I have no contact whatsoever with my ex-husband in any way, shape, or form. We do not communicate. We do not have mutual friends or anything where we communicate through those people. No contact. I cannot stress that enough because I feel like somebody's going to ask me, do you still talk to him? No. I ain't seen him. I ain't heard from him. I don't want to hear from him. And I will tell the...
I want to see him, I want to hear from him, and I want to talk to him. I want to hear her whole entire story, and then I want to cover his whole entire story, and then decide who was really honest. That's how messy I am. So please, Lord, let this brother have a camera and 5 hours of time to go point for point with this lady so we can find out who's really lying. Please, Lord.
Entire story up until the last time I did hear from him and what happened. Um, yeah, this is my story. So, um, I am just a regular woman who thought she met the one,
Mm.
and I didn't.
Shocker.
Most people have never came in contact with a pathological liar. We typically come in contact.
I'm also, I feel like we're gonna get a whole lot of mental buzzwords, like psychology buzzwords thrown around in this. Nobody that is typically on the internet is qualified to call another person a pathological liar, like a psychotic person. Like we use these words with no training, but we've read the rubric. But you've not done the work, nor are you certified to use these words. Not just saying her, but just in modern era of the internet. People love to call people a narcissist and all kinds of shit. Motherfucker, you don't know. And the fact you're using the term narcissism probably means that you're probably more narcissistic in your tendencies than the person you're speaking of. Because if you were that self-aware, you probably would be more aware past their narcissism or whatever you consider to be the thing. I'm sorry this lady's point has brought up a thing, just how I feel about online mental health and how people discuss it with no fucking training, but yet they're like, I've been through this thing. I get that. But did a did a therapist or psychologist or a psychologist and psych whatever whoever could prescribe the prescriptions. What have you sat down with them folks? Because if not, I don't know. I don't know.
with like a compulsive liar. It is not the same. A pathological liar has no reason for why they lie. And the lies that they make up, there's no limit to the lie. I was once a psychology major in undergrad. I didn't
Oh,
graduate with
okay.
a psychology degree, but I'm very comfortable saying that he
She's had
was
some
a
experience.
pathological liar. He was a narcissist, and yes, there was some mental, in my opinion, mental health issues going on.
I called this
Pathological
shit.
lying part, absolutely. So I want to preface all this by saying, you're going to probably think, what in the world? There's no way this happened. Everything you're going to hear me say actually did happen. I never thought I was going to be in some sort of Lifetime movie, but I was.
Here I am.
So, I will read the comments as best I can. Like I said, I think if you allow me to tell the whole story, things will be answered. And sorry, I do talk with my hands. It's a coping mechanism. So if you're like, why is she moving her hands? Other than that, let's all take a deep breath.
Oh, I don't need one. I just need the juice. Give me the juice.
This was a fucking crazy ride. And if you think it's crazy, imagine how I feel as the person who lived it and had no idea what I was dealing with. I thought I knew, but I truly had no idea.
Play the game and fuck around and find out, didn't you?
You like how I twisted that? Anyway. All right, y'all. This is the introduction, so welcome. Part 1 will be up shortly.
Okay, come on. Are we in the whip with the makeup done now? Okay.
Here is part 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
I don't know.
So I met my ex-husband around March 4th of 2020.
Okay.
We met on Facebook dating site, and we also matched on Hinge. I did not realize that he was on both under 2 different names. So one was his actual name, and the other one was a variation, like a nickname that he called himself. Different pictures. So it was a running joke between us. Oh, you ain't even recognized that you had matched with me on Hinge. No, I didn't. And also that should have been a red flag. By the way, you will notice in this story, I called it the United Nations of red flags. It is so many red flags that, I mean, you would have thought I was colorblind because I ignored all of them. So, anyway, back to the story. We met around March 4th. We exchanged phone numbers. He called me and we talked on the phone for the first time. In the first phone call, he told me that he had just moved to Georgia from California, from San Diego. His job had transferred him because he was being transferred in as the new regional manager for a major condiment company that is based here in Georgia.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the name. And so we also talked about his childhood. He told me he grew up in Philly. He's from Philly. Both of his parents were deceased. This is the first
Chili
phone
from
call.
Philly.
Both of his parents were deceased. His father was a Philadelphia police officer.
Did this nigga pull a salt burner on Shorty? Everybody's alive that's dead in his story. Oh, please, please, please.
His mom was a teacher. He also told me he briefly lived in Augusta with his family. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He also had 2 half-brothers on his dad's side. First phone call.
Big phone family.
So I'm just giving you guys the backstory. This was the first phone call we had. So we talked about family. We talked about friends. We talked about our jobs. At the time, I was working at Georgia State Patrol. And he knew this, and he just thought that was like, wow, you know. So you work with troopers all day. Yes, I did. Also in that phone call, he explained to me that he used to play football. He explained that he used to play arena football. I know nothing about arena football.
Don't nobody else?
I know about NFL. I know about college. Go Dogs. But I don't know anything about
Fuck
arena
the
football.
Dogs,
so
nigga.
He explained to
Go
me
Falls.
that he used to play
Fuck
arena
talking
football.
About?
He used to work at Apple in the off season of arena football.
See, now that's the bullshit. That's the bullshit. Don't be out here naming me Apple, but you won't name me the condiment company. The fucking bullshit. If you're gonna name Apple, you better name Heinz Ketchup, motherfucker. That's how I feel. I want a messy story. So anytime she's not gonna be as messy, but I see her being messy after saying she won't be messy. Naming Apple is just as bad as not naming the person you didn't name before. I'm just saying.
And I remember thinking on that phone call, oh, okay, you know, like, good for you. I don't know anything about arena football, and I believe I did tell him that. I don't know anything about arena football. That'll come into play later on.
Yeah, well, he gonna start telling her he got games.
He told me, you know, I just moved here. My job is paying for my housing, and they are helping me to look for a house. He was like, right now I'm in Gwinnett County, but I'm trying to look for a house, ideally in Atlanta, like Brookhaven, Sandy Springs.
Buckhead.
Like, I really would like to move out there. And so I thought, you know, that's great. You know, you're looking to get a house. You just moved here. He was like, I don't really know too many people here because I spend all my time at work, and, you know, this job is really demanding. So that was our first phone call. We talked more. He talked a lot, which took me by surprise because I'm not really used to men talking more than me. He eventually asked me out on a date. Our first date was set for Saturday, March 7th, 2020.
Okay.
He asked me what was my favorite
It's my brother's
restaurant.
birthday. Happy birthday, nigga.
Cheesecake Factory.
Aw, shit.
And so we agreed to go out at the Cheesecake Factory in a location that was in between. I lived in Clayton County at the time. He lived in Gwinnett County. I realized that if you don't know anything about Metro Atlanta, that makes no sense. But basically, we lived about 45 minutes apart. So we agreed to meet at the Cheesecake Factory over at Perimeter Mall, which is in an area, Sandy Springs, Dunwoody area. I was excited. Like, I called my friends and was like, I got a date, you know, blah, blah, blah. We'll see how it goes. First conversation was good. Hopefully he looks like his pictures, because, you know, that's always an issue with online dating. Hopefully he looks like his pictures. So on my way to our date, I took 285, and literally right before I got to Boulder Crest, the exit for Boulder Crest, I heard a boom, and I lost control of my car. Thank God that not thank God, but I knew what to do. So I did not crash, but my tire blew out. So I called him, And I said, hey, I'm so sorry, but my tire just blew on 285. I'm slowly making my way off the exit. I believe I pulled into a Chevron gas station. And I said, I got to get this fixed. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm a damsel in distress kind of thing. He kind of paused. He got quiet. And he was like, tell me exactly where you are. Drop your pin. So I dropped the pin. And he came to
Change
the
my tire.
gas station. Came to the gas station, got out the car, and I was so relieved that he actually looked like his pictures that I was like, oh my God, he's actually attractive. Because he's like 6'4", 6'5". Oh, also, man, I apologize. So let me go back to the first conversation. Let me add something. He did tell me in the first phone call that he was divorced. And that his ex-wife, she had 2 children, a boy and a girl, who were teenagers, young adults. I think the girl was about 20. And he said that he had a very close relationship with his stepkids.
Okay.
But that he and his ex-wife had divorced because she cheated on him out in California. And so coming to Georgia was a new beginning for him. She was still out in
Should have
California.
left the country, my
The
nigga.
kids were still out in California. And so, he was like, I can't stand her, but I still want to be in the kids' lives.
So you moved to Georgia.
That in there because that will come back.
You moved to Georgia, but you would still be in your kid's life. Cut the cap. Cut the cap, my brother.
Back later. So this is just setting the stage. Again, that first conversation we talked about family, job, friends, how he ended up in Georgia, me being in Georgia, the things that, I would think people talk about in their first conversation. All right, now back to the tire blew out. So he shows up to the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
He changes my tire.
Ooh.
Which I just thought was the sexiest thing in the world. And then he proceeds to say, hey, I found a tire place around the corner. You need to get another tire. Like, you can't drive on this donut. So he followed me to the tire place and then helped me get a tire, paid for it.
Okay.
So I was definitely like, wow. And so the vibe was good. So anyway,
it was giving what it needed.
Fixed. We follow each other to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, we back on Cheesecake Times.
Over in Perimeter. We hold hands walking into the Cheesecake Factory. So in my mind, I'm like, this is just this. Oh my God!
Can't get no
butterflies. better. That's the look of a woman who had butterflies. So I had butterflies, and we go in. There's a long wait, and so we sit outside and we just talk, and the conversation's great. And this is where he tells me what it is he's looking for. He tells me, I believe at the time he was 42.
Ugh.
He was like, I want to get married and it be for real. He's like, my parents were married 40 plus years before my mom passed away. And I want that. I want marriage, family, a house. Like, that is what I want. He was like, I'm as a man, I'm ready to get married, but I want it to be for real because the first time,
Ladies, I'm gonna give you some advice. Any nigga talking that shit to you, cap. A nigga telling you that he wants you to make him feel loved, make him feel wanted, telling you all the things that sustain a marriage instead of wanting the marriage more than anything, that's the nigga you should give 2 more seconds of attention to. Are there men out here who want to be married and all that shit? Sure, I'm one of them niggas. But if I was telling shorty, oh, I want to be married because my parents, and I'd be lying through my goddamn teeth. But when it hasn't worked, not the marriage portion, but actually finding the person to give me back what I'm looking for or what I would need or want to have inside of my marriage to make it something that could last long. Make me feel like you want me. Make me feel wanted. Make me feel loved. Take care of me. Be my peace. You give me all that shit, marriage is easy. But if a nigga talking all that, oh, I want this because of my family shit, I'm not a red flags kind of guy, but if red flags, star signs kind of folk, I'm giving you some gems. Nigga talking to you like that is cap. Run for the hills.
It really hurt me when she cheated on me. So he's telling me everything that I wanted to hear. And
Yep,
so
that's
he was
exactly
like,
what he
what
was
is it
doing.
that you want? And I said
Everything
pretty
you
much
just
the same
said.
thing. I was like, I'm ready to get married. Definitely want to have a family. And
It's too
I want to
easy.
marry my best friend.
That's
So
a
we
good one though.
both put on the table that we wanted marriage. And this is the end of part 1.
All right, we gonna just do her parts and parts. So this is intro and part 1, because this motherfucker will be way too long. Niggas gonna be like, I'm not watching all this at that time. However, we'll put this out. I'm interested to see how crazy her story goes. So I'll probably call this myself at 2 or 3 after I get enough of the story to see whether or not I think it's messy enough for me to continue. But if a bunch of people on part 1 say, motherfucker, finish this shit, we'll finish it, regardless of how I feel. So y'all let me know. That's going to be it for this one. I hope this lady's doing a lot better, because I'm going to laugh my ass off during this shit. I'm going to call bullshit during it. But I don't want anybody to be hurt. And I know how hard it is to love and trust again after being hurt or just getting out of a long-term thing. So I know this is hard. So I hope she's in a much better place now. But I promise you, I'm going to take the utter piss the whole time. I'm here for the jokes and the laugh and also to hear a crazy story. If that's not for you, please don't come back. But if you want some fuckery like I am, we'll be back tomorrow. That said, though, thank you guys for joining me. Please do hit that like, subscribe. Patreon's in the description. Also, if this is your first time coming across my channel, I do make music. I've just dropped a new music video called 4 a.m. in Edinburgh. It is on my channel right now. It'll be linked somewhere around here at the end of this. And then also, we got a new drum and bass mashup remix of Lily Allen's The Fear. That's on my YouTube Shorts. Go check that out too. See me kind of doing some different things. That said, I'm out of here. See you on the next one. Peace.